Good morning, everyone. Coming to you live from sunny Vegas. 60 degrees on this lovely Tuesday morning. I'm coming to you a little early today because my friend, I gotta get this right. My friend is coming to visit for a couple days. Rock on. And I've known her over 40 something years, so we're gonna have a lot of fun. So I'll be off the grid for 2 days, but I'll be back Thursday, maybe, for sure Friday. So I thought I'd do an early show. And first of all, I want to apologize for yesterday's show. It went way too long. I did not mean to do that. So my recommendation, if you saw it was 30 minutes, we're like, oh, I don't have 30 minutes. I would watch just the beginning to see hear the stories, and you can forget the song. But no songs today because I'm going to try to be better about it. I'll get better as it goes. Remember, I'm learning as I go. So today is just talking, no singing, nothing like that. But a couple things I wanted to throw out there. Number one, thank you everybody who's subscribed. I got about, 16, 17 subscriptions so far. Rock on. Anybody else, I would love for you to subscribe. The more the better. Come on, man. Give me your support. All the people for years I used to work with who, now there's not a lot of them watching it now because I've alienated a few of them, but come on now, watch me. You all wanted me to do this. Everybody encouraged me to do it. I'm doing it, so you got to watch me. All right, that's all. That's all the getting on my hands and knees and begging. But thank you for the subscribers. I appreciate that. It means really, really does. It's support means you support me and you love me. Right on. So, something I've been wanting to mention. By any chance, is anybody out there a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend of Jeff Bridges or Mrs. Bridges? Because I was just wondering. I figured this might be a good way to get my message out. Anybody who knows me knows I love me some Jeff Bridges. I know the youngsters are like, Jeff Bridges. First of all, he was a hot man when he was young, and he's still hot now. Sarah, when you get older, I'm his age too. He's just a cool, cool dude. I would love to sit and talk with him and maybe something else. So I always have a rule that I tell people, and people who know me know this rule, that I would never cheat with a married man because I wouldn't want to hurt the woman. I'm woman power. I'm like, we gotta rock and roll and stick together, right? Women, it's hard enough in this world for women to make their way, even though we all know they're smarter. Sorry, I know I've got guys out there who watch me. Please keep watching me, but fact is, we are. And but I would never cheat on a married man. But I would break my rule with Jeff Bridges. This is the way I look at it. Jeff's been married almost 40 years, okay? So Mrs. Bridges, I've seen you and you look pretty cool too. 24 hours out of those 30, 40 years, come on. All I want is 24 hours. We'll talk, we'll party, we'll do a little oochie. He'll play some music for me. Maybe we'll get a little bangity boom, 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 boom. And then you can have him back. But I love me some Jeff Bridges. Actually, one of my really good friends lives in, I have two friends, really good old friends that I've known over 40-something years as well that live in California. And me and my one girlfriend, the one I've known the very longest out of all my friends, I've known her since 7th grade. And she lives in, so one of these days, I think her and I have to do a road trip. And we just have to track him down, man. I'm just going to have to be a stalker because, Jeff, you are hot and you are rocking my roll. All right, so let's move on. Oh, and the other thing is, I was thinking if we could get enough YouTube views, maybe Ellen will hear about me because Ellen likes people who like people and who want to help people. And that is me, man, all the way around. You know that. I got a big heart. I've been told several times I trust people too much, and I got too big of a heart. Of course, that came from somebody who doesn't have a heart and doesn't trust anybody. But anyways, that's beside the point. So, come on, let's view this show and pass it on. Maybe I can get on Ellen, man. Did you see me on Ellen? Oh, man, that would be awesome. Yeah, like that is going to happen. The day that happens is the day I'm Jennifer Aniston, okay? I'm just saying. All right, so I got a good story for you today. I'm going to take a little sip of my coffee because remember, it's morning here. Nothing like a good cup of joe in the morning. Anyway, so my story today is because I'm going all over the place. I'm not doing chronological until I get closer to telling my story with Bill as far as the sickness story, the 17-year journey. But we're not on that yet. So Bill and I have been married a few years now, and I have actually we have a very pretty small family. So my mother has a brother, and we're not going to get into the bad stuff about it. This is just a good story. And he lived way out in the small town, Harvard, Illinois. And he owned a horse ranch where he boarded horses and people paid him and lots of land. So he had this big party to kind of christen his new house, him and his wife. So we all went, the whole family went. And it was way out there. And this is when Bill and I had I had bought, before Bill and I got married, a little MG Midget British car, real small, probably about this big. And it's a convertible, 2-seater, awesome. Man, do we have some times in that. I'll tell you about those later. You think you can't do much in those cars? When you really want to, you can. Anyways, so we all went out to the party, the whole family. And we get out there, and it's just a beautiful summer day, and my other aunt and uncle are out there with my cousins and my brothers and my sister, who was pretty young, but it was fun. So we're barbecuing, and the first thing that happened to my poor brother, this should have been a clue, it might have been a rough day. We're out there playing horseshoes, right? And those big stakes, those metal stakes that go in the ground. So we're playing, and he brushed up against the metal stake by accident. He starts gushing blood. We're like, what the heck? And he's bleeding and bleeding, and we're like, geez. So he's like, I gotta go do something. So he ended up having to get stitches. I'm pretty sure. That's the part I'm not sure, but we'll go with the stitches. It sounds good. So we're like, okay. So we're partying. They had a keg there, and we were partying. And they had this deck that was really high up. It had to be easily 20 stairs, if not more. I mean, it could have been 25. It was a big, high deck. So we'd been partying most of the day, and then me and my Aunt Pat and I, who I just adored her. When I was a child, I looked up to her. She never probably knew it, but I always looked up to her. I always thought she looked like Anne Margaret when I was young because she was so pretty, especially when her hair was red. But then she was a beautician, so you never knew what color hair you'd get when she'd come over. Sometimes it was red, sometimes it was black, sometimes it was brown, sometimes it was white. But when it was red, she looked like Anne Margaret to me. So I loved her. But anyway, so we're at this party, all of us. And I remember this outfit too. This purple and white outfit. Actually, I have the picture. Hang on, don't go anywhere. I'm back. So, can you see the picture? That's me, my mom, my little sister, and my brother's first wife, Marcia. And you see see what my Bill did? He took this picture and from that day, and then he wrote on it, early on in the family history of the Harringtons, women decided to adopt the Shirley Do, as well as never growing older than 39 years old. So that was a picture, and as you can see, we all have my mom's do. Anyway, so that was my purple and white outfit, okay, which is kind of important here. So all of a sudden, why we thought this was a good idea, me and my aunt started doing a beer chugging contest. Seriously. And we're chugging beers and we're partying. I mean, we didn't, we would do one and then we would chill out and then it'd be like, want to do another one? Okay. So, and you had to walk up and down those 20 stairs, 25 stairs to get another beer. So we're all having a really good time. And then it's like, Lynn, she goes, Lynn, it's your turn to go down and get us some beers. I'm like, all right. And although I originally told the story to my parents because they had already left, thank the Lord they had left. They left with my sister, so they weren't there to see what happened. They only heard about it. I told them I was actually going down to get a pop. But I was really going down to get 2 more beers. So I go, all right, I'll be right back. And what happens? And this is the thing. If anybody knows me, I fall a lot. There's a million falling stories. Just said something to my son last night on the phone. I had hurt my arm a couple weeks ago. And then yesterday I did something and I flared it back up and it's just killing me. And I was talking to him about icing it. And he said, did you fall? And I said, no, not this time. And he started laughing. And he's like, oh, okay, not this time. So that's pretty much the history of Lynn. So why I rented a house that has 15 stairs from one level to the other, no godly idea. That's me. Anyways, back to the story in Harvard, Illinois. So I go, all right, I'll be right back. Well, I go to get the beers, and what happened? I tumbled down the entire flight of stairs, and I was doing over. I was flipping over, and somebody goes, oh my God, look at that lady tumbling down the stairs. And Bill was pretty close to the stairs, and he was talking to some people, and he looked over and he was like, wow, that poor lady. And then he goes, oh my God, that's my wife. Is that purple and white? And somebody goes, yeah. And he goes, that's my wife. And so then they all run down the stairs, and then I'm laying down there, and I started laughing. I'm like, oh my God. And they're all like, oh my God, don't move, the whole party. I'm laying on the ground, like laying down like this, and there's like, I don't know, 20, 30 heads staring at me, and I'm laughing. And they're like, oh my God, don't move, what do we do? And they got me up, and I'm like, oh, I'm all right. And nothing seemed to be broken or anything, and they're like, no. Somebody's like, you know what? And after a while, I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of getting a little sore. I don't know. They're like, that's it. She's got to go to a hospital or something. And so the consensus was hospital. So Bill and I get into the MG midget now as they drag me to the car. And because I'm pretty loaded at this point, because we had drank some more after that to try to get rid of the pain. And then they realized she's got to go to the hospital. What if she has a concussion, this and that? So, we get in the car, the top down on the MG, so the top's not up. So my whole family, thank God my parents had left, decided to come. So there was probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 cars behind us. So it was like we were in a parade. So I said, because he was leading the pack, Bill, we were driving. And remember, we're out in the middle of frickin' nowhere. There's nothing there. So you got to go back to civilization to find a hospital or urgent care or something. So we're driving, and I look behind me, and I say to Bill, it's like a parade. And he's like, oh, my God. So I get up in the car, and I'm sitting on the back of the top of the seat, and I'm like, yeah. And I'm singing and waving my arms. He's like, sit down. And I'm like, oh, let's rock and roll. And then people are beeping behind me. My brothers, my sisters are beeping. And we were driving. Finally, he got me to sit down. He's like, you're going to get us pulled over. And I'm like, all right. So we finally get back to civilization. And I think we were in Buffalo Grove somewhere. And Bill's like, you know what? I'll take her into this urgent care. You guys can all go home. They're like, no, we're staying. So everybody piles in. Most of us were loaded. Everybody was loaded. And so they put me in a room, and I'm giggling and laughing. The doctor opens up the drapes, walks in. He looks at me. Now, I could have probably sued when you think about this, because he looks at me, starts asking me some questions. Of course, I'm giving him smart aleck answers, And he's like, she's fine. She's loaded. What am I looking at this lady for? Seriously, what he said. He goes, there's nothing wrong with her. And Bill's like, well, she did fall down like a flight of 20 stairs. He goes, yeah, but look at her. She's fine. Nothing seems broken. He's touching me. And he's like, okay. He's like, get out of here. So they made us leave, and we left. We go home. Now, the next day, Bill and I were leaving for a week camping trip. We were all packed up. We were going to leave that Saturday, but the party happened. And we were going up to the Michigan Dunes in Mesquite, I think that's where we were. And we're going to go. And so we left Sunday instead. So I woke up the next day. I could not move. It hurt from here down to my little baby toe. I was turning black and blue all over. And I'm like, oh, my God, I don't think I could do this. My husband's like, oh, yes, you are. You did that to yourself. Get in the car. we're going. And Bill was never usually pushy-wushy on any of that stuff. I was usually the hard ass in the family. But that day he put down his foot. He's like, you played, you pay. Get in the car. Made me get in the car. We drove. And for one whole week, I had to sleep on a blow-up mattress on the ground. And I was hurting the entire week. And Bill at one point was like, I don't even want to hear about it anymore. Because I'd be like, did I hear anything? I'd be like, no, I didn't say a word, honey. Pounding the stake in to get the tent up. And I'd be like, oh my God. He's like, what? Nothing, I'm good. So we had a pretty good laugh about that for a whole week. And he said to me, I hope you've learned your lesson not to be number one having chugging contests, beer contests outside in the middle of the day when it's hot and it's, you're dehydrated, and don't fall down a flight of 25 stairs. It's just not a good thing. I swear I could have had a concussion and gone to sleep that night and died and not be doing this show right now. But you can't push a little thing like me down very easily. I always, I'm a Weeble Wobble. I weeble, I wobble, but I never fall down. I back up again. So, I don't know, that wasn't a hilarious story, but it was a pretty funny one. And just Bill, and the way he was, when we were camping that week, it was like I could not. Every once in a while he allowed me, the only time I could say something about it is when he asked me how I felt. Otherwise, it was like, I don't want to hear it. Yes, sir. It was very, very funny. Bill was, he was a special person. So I have so many stories. Now that I'm starting to do this show, they're starting to hit. Because I was like, oh my God, I can't remember my stories. So whenever, like if I'm sitting around watching TV, I have my notebook now and I'm writing them down. So I've got some good ones. The story on how Bill and I met, how he got his first date, is I'm not sure if I'm going to wait till our wedding anniversary, it's in a couple weeks, or do it earlier. That's the part I'm not sure, because that is a story in itself. How he got his first date with me, and everything was here. We ended up getting married. Not without a few bumps in the road, though, because Bill did ask me several times to marry him, and several times I said no. We even broke up once while we were going out. So, and it wasn't that I just wasn't ready. He was in love with me from the moment we started going out, he said. He's like, I was in love with you when I saw you in high school. Oh, yeah, I don't know if I ever told you that. Okay, so this is the other funny thing. I've got two older brothers. He has two older brothers. Both of them I think I told you that. Both of them went to the same school. And then me and Bill was 1 grade younger than me. And then his other brother and my sister are not anywhere near an age. So Bill was, like when I was a sophomore, Bill was a freshman there. And we had our lockers. Me and my group of friends, we had our lockers. We never went to our assigned lockers. We made our own lockers. So we had a bunch of them in this one hallway, in this one main hallway. And he knew it. He stalked me. When we first started going out, he goes, I knew exactly where your locker was. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, it was by the nurse's office. And I'm like, oh, this is a little creepy. I said, how'd you know that? He goes, oh, I saw you. He goes, I always thought I wanted to know you. Well, true. I get that. But actually, back in high school, that wasn't true. I wasn't the cool Lynn I am now. I was pretty insecure. I was fun, and I still had a big heart, but I was very insecure in high school, and I was ugly as sin. I mean, this didn't get a lot better, but not as bad as it was then. And then was it my junior year picture? When they took the picture, there was something, I don't know, it was on the lens or something, so there's this big, stupid white dot on the side of my head in the picture. Why didn't they take that out? Like this poor, ugly girl needed another mark on her face in the yearbook. I didn't stand a chance. So they weren't lining up at my door, let's just put it that way. That's all I'm saying. So, but yeah, he stalked me in high school, so he knew me before I knew him. And he would tell me some things. He knew some things. There's some stories. There's a good, funny story about that, but I'm not going to tell you what that is. That'll be another story, the hallway story at Hersey. So, that's it, my friends. I'm not going to make you watch for a half hour. I hope you enjoyed it, and remember, what is our goal today is to smile, or tomorrow, depending on when you listen to this, you smile. Try to make somebody else smile. Laugh. Embrace your neighbor. And help somebody out if they need it, if you're out and about. I'm going to say this every single day. This is the end of every show. Help somebody out. Let's love each other again. Please. It makes me so sad that we don't. It really does. Sometimes I'm grateful I'm at the age I am, because the way this country is going, I figure I'm not going to live long enough to see it implode. So I'm grateful for that, except for my son's here and his fiance, and then they're going to have kids. So that's what makes me sad. So please, let's get back to loving each other again, okay? It's not that hard. There's room in your heart, I know there is. Okay? So let's keep on rocking and rolling, and do not miss the Vegas Baby Show with me, Lenny din din did it din. That's what my dad used to call me. All right, you guys, keep on rocking and rolling. I'll see you in a couple days. Remember to subscribe to me. Send my videos on to anybody you want. Tell them to subscribe. The more the merrier. I can't get my son to eat that shoe if you guys don't make me famous. Let's love each other. Have a great day.